Here's our top 5 controllers of 2024.
Oh, yes. All right.
Yeah.
It is Christmas time. It's the
It
end
is,
of the
yes.
year, which means it's time for us to round up some of the most awesome
yes.
things we've seen. And we've seen a lot of controllers
We've
this
seen
year.
a lot.
In fact, it's kind of been that and the Ally X is all we do is
Pretty
on
much,
128 KB.
yeah.
So doing our top 5, I wanted to press you basically on what your favourite controllers were this year.
Luckily, I've forgotten all of them.
You forgot.
No, I haven't.
As soon as we've done the video,
Yeah.
I delete all the information from my
that's-
head.
That's it, unless I use it.
So we've got 5 of the best that we've done. Some surprise mentions in there,
Yeah.
and some really close. A spread of price points as well.
Yes, I will admit, most of the controllers we look at are really good. You know, we actually filter through the rubbish.
Yes, that's
So
very true.
We get sent a lot more stuff than you see, and most of the time it's like, let's just not look at this, it's rubbish. So, we kind of filter it out so that you see good products anyway. So most of the stuff's good. It's just this is what we really liked for one reason or another that we'll discuss.
Yeah, these are the standout controllers of the year for us. I will say, anyone on this list, if you've got any of them on the list, you've made a good choice, to be fair.
Yeah. Even though there's going to be like the bottom going to the top, they're all great.
Yeah. So to think about number 5, which we'll start with, it's not necessarily the worst controller. It's the 5th best controller that we've looked at this year.
Yeah, if you want to look at it like that. Yeah.
And it's also the cheapest of this bunch.
It is, yeah.
What is it, Andy?
It is watching the 8-Bit Do official collaboration with Black Myth Wukong.
Ooh, and I'm going to start off, before I do the specs, I'm just going to say, I absolutely love that 8-Bit Do did this with Black Myth.
Yes.
I just love the aesthetic of it. I love the colorway. And I think more game franchises should do this kind of collaboration.
100%.
Cool.
100%. I really like that 8-Bit Do did this as collab. Yeah,
8-Bit Do this.
Do. I know you Americans call it 8-Bit Do, but it's 8 capital BIT capital DO. So that's 8-Bit Do. There we go. So that's cleared it up for you.
Let me tell you some of the specs about this. Obviously, it's the official collaboration with Black Myth Wukong. There's 2 versions. You've got a wireless and a wired version. The wireless version is $35. The wired version is only $25, which is utterly ridiculously cheap.
It's crazy, isn't it? $25.
Mental.
But even like $35 or whatever for this
the wireless
for the wireless one, for some of the specifications and stuff, really good.
It's the it's the same controller that they've already released, isn't it? It's the Ultimate 8. I can't even think what it's called.
The 2C.
2C. It's because 8-Bit Do 2C.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's the same controller. It's just it's just a new colorway in collaboration with them.
Basically.
You've got 2 remappable extra bumpers on the top. Interesting.
There we go. Yes. So for people like you that don't
hate
like
back paddles.
Yes. See, I'm in the opposite camp. I love back paddles, but I know you don't.
Yeah.
And I think I brought you up in the review of this saying that you would really like this because you don't have that like fear of pressing a button and going, oh, what have I done?
It's a totally irrational fear, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that.
Oh no, there's people.
Yeah, the back paddle thing. It means I hold the controller looser when there's back paddles.
Yes.
Because I'm worried about accidentally pressing, even if they're unmapped.
Yes.
It's a stupid thing, I know, but I do prefer when the extra bumpers are placed elsewhere. So
so it's just a different
cool.
way of doing it, and I think it's good because if people still want extra buttons to bind, they can.
Yeah.
If you don't care, forget about them.
Yeah,
and
totally.
you won't even notice them because if you're just playing normally, right, you can get to the bumpers and the triggers without even noticing them.
Yeah.
You have to kind of like arc your finger over a bit more to like get to them.
Let's say it's not a massively elegant solution.
It's not, no, but at the same time, when you're actually using it, so when I was testing this out, I was like, actually makes sense. Like it's very easy and natural to just shift your finger over a smidgen, right? That's a good term.
Yeah, scientific.
Measurement there. So a smidgen's about that far. Right? So it's very easy to use, quite natural. But yeah, personally, I still prefer back paddles.
Yeah.
But for those that don't, this could be an option.
Obviously, there is turbo. Seems to be turbo in most controllers now. Hall effect joysticks, which is always important and great to see. With anti-friction rings and metal anti-friction stems.
Yes.
The Meti stem.
Yes.
That always gives a controller a feel of like luxury.
Yes.
When you consider that for the wireless version, it's $35.
Exactly.
Those anti-friction rings and stems, it just feels buttery smooth.
Oh, yeah. He's got it in there. Buttery smooth is correct. And the other thing is it just aids in wear.
Yes.
So because of those metal caps there, it's not going to grind away at that plastic.
Yeah.
Because you often find that the joystick stem plastic is a different plastic than the anti-friction ring, or if there's no ring, just the gate. And that can often lead to it grinding away.
Yeah.
Look at the Ally Z1 Extreme. That's exactly what happened there. So this pairing Hall effect sticks with anti-friction gates and stems, that's a winning move.
Yeah.
Especially at the price point.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There's a 2.4 gigahertz dongle that comes with it, which, is that a 10,000 hertz polling rate then?
1,000.
1,000.
10,000, wow.
I read it wrong. It's 10,000. Of course it is.
Yes, yeah, 1,000 hertz polling rate. Yeah, so
and
really
Bluetooth
good.
as well.
Yeah, Bluetooth will be like 125 hertz typically.
Yeah, it's always quite low,
It's
isn't it?
low. But you've got the choice. So, and it comes with a dongle. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, if you want that, it's there.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're lazy, don't use it.
Yeah, or just plug it in with the cable, or just buy the wired
Or
one.
just buy the wired
and
one.
save $10.
If you're worried about like the speed of the controller connection, then just use the wired version.
Absolutely.
Save yourself some money.
Yes.
But $25 for the wired version.
Amazing.
Mentally cheap.
Yeah, really good. And it's 8-bit do,
It's quality.
So they do good D-pads.
Yes, actually, that's a really good point. I'm just laughing at the name.
8-bit do.
If you're not into the Black Myth Wukong thing, then you can just get the normal version of it.
Yeah, they sell a range of them. They do the 2C
And they've got loads of nice
Ultimate
colours as well for that, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got loads of different stuff. But I definitely want to see more collabs.
I'd love to see it.
Across companies as well.
Yeah.
8-bit seem to do it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But I'd love to see more.
Yeah.
Okay,
going to move it along
Oh!
to number 4 on the list, which is from one of our actual now favourite companies, it seems to be.
So good,
consistently, and they've kind of came out of nowhere in my mind anyway, and have just consistently surprised me and you with their quality.
Yes. Yeah.
We are of course talking about GameSeer, and this is not the controller, that is the case the controller's in. This is the GameSeer Nova.
Yes, which comes with this, by the way. So
amazing.
It comes with this in the box. Which
if you're someone like you and me who we travel between each other's places quite a lot, and you want to take your controller with you, there's always that horrible feeling of stuffing a controller into a bag and you're watching the joysticks kind of pressure and fall over.
And the other thing is,
lovely.
Some controllers come with huge cases, like the Xbox Elite. I know there's like accessories, pouches and stuff in there, but those are big cases. This is so small. It's a complete form fitting of the controller. So again, you can throw this in your bag easy. The only downside, which I mean, it isn't not really a negative, is there's no USB cutout, so you can't charge it.
Yeah, I've seen it on some cases. We've
got it on another controller that we'll be seeing later. But so that's a little bit of a downside. But I mean, it's just thrown in. Yeah. So whilst we're on downsides, the other downside is they didn't include the USB dongle for this one for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But the Nova Lite, which is the cheap one, comes with the dongle.
I will say, Nova's going to be a great one to buy. But a bit of a spoiler, there's a Nova 2 coming. End of this year, start of next year, there's a Nova 2 coming. I spoke to GameSeer the other day and they confirmed Nova 2 coming.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that then.
Yes, so you'll see a video of that coming up on the channel when that does launch.
Yes.
But onto the actual Nova itself, because this was 2024 we're talking about.
Yes.
Let me tell you about it. There is obviously gyro built in. That's cool. Turbo, macro, and button swaps. Is it full button swapping? Like it's
true button swap.
True button swapping. 2 programmable back paddles.
Yes. Yuck. To be fair, I wouldn't say it's a negative, but they've gone for the Cyclops theme.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that.
No.
But they're fine. Like
the monobrow.
Yeah, the monobrow. The Mario mustache. It's all right.
Wireless or wired, but 2.4 gigahertz dongle is a separate purchase, like you said. That's a weird thing to do, isn't it?
I don't know why, especially when this is the better one and the Nova Lite comes with it.
Yeah, it's an odd move. It was obviously an admission that they didn't realise, I guess, and they kind of fixed it later on. Hall effect joysticks and RGB anti-friction rings.
Oh yeah, let's see if it's got any power. Hang on.
Is it going to turn on? Is it going to do it?
No.
You have no dead zone mode and raw mode.
Yeah.
What's raw mode?
So no dead zone mode typically is raw mode.
Right.
So joysticks aren't actually inputting in a circular way. So when you go to a joystick tester or when you what's it called when you calibrate, right? And it will show a circular zone because it's got a circular gate, right? So you would assume it's a circle. It's not. That's not how joysticks input. They input in a square basically, right? So you have true diagonals. So going from center to far right should, in theory, be the same as center to like northwest, if you want to call it like that.
Yeah.
But it's not, because generally they put a dead zone around that square so that it then mimics the circular
so it's
gate.
faking a circle.
It's faking a circle, right? And that is what typical modes are. Most controllers have this dead zone, right? Which means the diagonals are actually shorter, so they're not as accurate because the distance is smaller because they've made that circle, right? So no dead zone mode typically actually is referred to as raw mode. It's gone to raw mode. It's removed the outer dead zone, and now you have true diagonals. So if you go to a controller tester, now you're going outside of the circular gate. And some people think, oh no, it's now erroring. It's not. It's actually giving you a true input with more accuracy because you're getting more range of motion there. So this has that, basically. Some controllers say no dead zone, and they still apply an outer circular dead zone to the raw input. And it just means that no dead zone mode is just quicker off the mark.
Wow.
So, and just to really quickly, for anyone that doesn't know, dead zone is basically either on outer or an inner. Most people complain about an inner dead zone.
Yeah, that's the only one I was kind of aware of.
Yes, so the inner dead zone is, let's pretend that there's a dead zone here, right? And I'm moving the stick like this, but my character's not doing anything. That means there's like a 10% dead zone around the center of the stick. Removing the dead zone would be as soon as I touch it, it would move the character or whatever, right? So yeah, there's like, it really depends on the company of how they do it, but they can either just go to no dead zone mode where the inner dead zone's removed, but there's still an outer dead zone, or it's just straight up raw mode where there's no dead zone applied anywhere. So it's a little bit confusing. You have to do it per controller.
That's just great. It does have HD rumble for you Switch players, but it does have a bit of a whine to it. It's not the best rumble.
It had a bit of a whine. The rumble's fine, and honestly, in use when you're playing with it,
that's fair.
Providing you've got like sound on, you're going to be fine. But me being critical, you know, because I play games like this, holding it up to my ear, you know, just to hear it and see what it's like.
You actually have a microphone on it, and it's feeding back through your headset.
Yes, exactly.
So you can hear it.
You know, I did notice the HD rumble had a bit of a whine, so that was a bit of a negative there.
How does it feel? That's the only other thing I have a question with it.
It's chunky.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fat boy.
It doesn't feel too plasticky. It's not too light.
No, I mean, it's good quality plastic.
Yeah.
You know, it's solid. Not a fingerprint magnet. It's not rubber coated, so it's not going to get sticky.
It's a very kind of plain colorway. It's
a Game Boy colorway.
It's very nondescript. It is, isn't it? Original game. It's very nondescript, though, isn't it?
Yes.
When it sits on your shelf
but
or whatever.
I like that. I love the like grey retro vibes, but it is fat. Like, look how thick
it's chunky, isn't it?
Yeah, but it feels like it in the hands, and it's nice. Like I like that extra grip. Like it's good, you know.
Game Seer Nova, soon to be replaced, but definitely a worthy mention on this list of our top 4. Well, it's in 4th place, top 5.
Yes.
Into number 3 then, Andy, which is a very recent controller.
Yes.
Very new.
Very new.
From one of our favourites. We talk about them all the time. It's MobaPad.
Yes, MobaPad.
Who have had a massive rise from kind of obscurity maybe a year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
To now they are, especially with the Nintendo Switch.
Absolutely, yes.
They are it, aren't they? MobaPad.
Yeah. And we were the first Western
we were, genuinely were.
reviewers to get our hands on
this
stuff.
is the MobaPad N1 HD.
Yes.
Which is their new Pro controller.
Yes.
What is the big standout feature of the N1 HD as opposed to their previous controllers and Joy-Cons?
The Chitu.
Chitu, yes.
Yeah, that one. This one has liquid silicon face buttons.
Yeah.
And it still has HD rumble, just like the other one did. But the main thing is the liquid silicon face buttons here. Which
what is liquid silicon buttons?
It's just the type of silicon that's over the buttons.
Yeah,
the like the membrane of it, basically. It's harder wearing. It's not going to tear as quickly. It's quicker to actuate. It returns quicker. They're more accurate. Again, longer lifespan. So instead of a typical membrane, I think they're about 1 million sort of wear, 1 million clicks. These, I think, are about 5 million clicks.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, you know, a lot more longevity.
Yeah. You have NFC in this controller as well. Which
NFC, yes.
That's actually really big. Again, talking about Nintendo land, it's really big. Hall effect joysticks, does have gyro built in. We talk about that. Liquid silicone face buttons. HD rumble as well, as you've said, hence the name N1 HD.
Yep.
There is 2 back paddles as well.
Ka-ching.
Whoa.
Big fan of these back paddles.
Really?
Yeah, they're very consistent. I find back paddles are quite mushy.
Yeah, so I was literally just going to say one thing I see, even on like some of the more pro controllers that we touch, back paddles always like the afterthought of the buttons.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even with like controllers that have got really nice mechanical switches,
Yeah.
quite often the back paddles are still membrane and mushy.
Yeah, these aren't like got like a mechanical switch or anything, but they're just consistent and they're not mushy, which is good. They are very small, so some people might not like them, but I find they rest under your middle fingers fine. So yeah, that's fine by me.
And kind of surprisingly for Moped, it's a multi-platform controller as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because they have their notoriety and their focus is always Nintendo Switch, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's nice. 2.4 gigahertz dongle along those lines, obviously. Turbo and macro.
Yep.
The app, all Moped stuff does have an app for calibrating and for firmware
updates and like reprogramming and stuff.
Yeah, but app didn't work
when
we got this.
Yeah, when I did the review, I mean, it was a early sample.
Yes.
So that's most likely the reason. And I haven't tested the app since then. So that's the only thing there is that when I was testing it, I couldn't get the app to work, whereas the app would work with other controllers, obviously. So it's probably just because it was a pre-release.
Yeah, brand new, isn't
but the only negative with this controller, for me, is the fact that you can't true button swap.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, so you can't bind a button to the back paddle and have it act as that button.
Which is
truly.
like your pet peeve of button swapping.
Yeah, because Turbo's cool. Macros are cool.
Yeah.
I don't use them.
No.
I just want to button swap.
Yeah.
That's my main thing. Like in actual use, like I'll test every feature, that's cool because some people want to use that. But for me personally, if I was just gaming, I want to be able to bind, say, jump to the back paddle and do a little jump with a little press and a long jump with a big press. You can't do that on this because it's just macro records.
Yes.
So it's just taking a recording of how quickly you press that button and then repeats it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want that.
That's not proper button swap. That's not true button swap.
It's not true button swap. So in the app, I know on some of their other stuff like the Chitu, it had the same problem.
Yeah.
But you could button swap it in the app and then it worked. But why isn't it
working?
Yeah, but also why is it not on the fly?
Yeah, it's true enough.
That's annoying. Most people don't care about apps. Just let me do it.
Especially not for controllers. It does seem unnecessary.
Yeah, just let me do it on the fly.
The other kind of huge standout feature is obviously that D-pad. You've got the dome D-pad, which is swappable, isn't it?
Swappable, yeah. So you can pull it off and
that's
change
been a feature they've carried over from the Shitu and from the
M6 HDs.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Getting confused with that.
There's a lot of N's and M's and numbers and HDs.
So, I mean, depending on the type of game you're playing, do you like the dome?
I do, yeah. I mean, again, I say this on all the videos. I'm not a big fighting guy.
Yeah.
I'm more of a platform guy. And to be fair, I probably do prefer standard D-pads, but I just kind of like it. I don't know why.
For those of you that don't play fighting games, I'm really curious, what do you use the D-pad for? When do you use the D-pad? I know exactly when I use my D-pad.
Oh, for me, I play a lot of platformers, don't I? So like Metroidvanias and stuff. That's why I prefer.
You use the D-pad in that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's more precise for jumps.
The only time I use D-pads, menus.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know why.
Some games are menus or they're like they control like skills or whatever. That's
true. Yeah.
So that's fine. But
yeah.
So this one knocked itself down for me personally just because of that.
It's great to see Moped still in the list. I've got a real fondness for them and a lot of love for their products. Yeah,
absolutely. I really like their products. Yeah, I do like their products.
Okay, move it along to no longer Moped.
No.
GuliKit. Oh, this is the KK3 Pro.
Yes, the Pro, not the KK3 and not the Max.
Okay, now I've got to get this right. The Max is the most expensive KK3.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Is the best one.
Yeah.
And we've got the KK3 Pro.
Yeah, which is
not the best one.
Not the best one. And then the KK3 is the worst one.
Why is the not best one in this list, Andy?
Well, the Pro is the best one, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. But this is why it's confusing, right?
Yeah.
Because if you think Pro, you think, professional. This is the best you can offer. And I would think, right, if I logically thought about this, KK3, bottom tier.
Yes.
Max. Oh, yeah, that sounds cool. That's like the next one, the maximum.
And then the Pro.
But the Pro is going to be like, that's the top one.
That's the one I want.
Yeah, because if you... Pro is like top tier, isn't it?
Yes.
If you're a pro basketballer or a baseball player or whatever.
Or a PS5.
Yeah. PS5 Pro. Yeah. Okay, maybe not that one. But whatever. It's top tier.
Yeah.
But no, they went, Pro's second best.
So just to clarify, according to GuliKit, the Pro is the middle tier of controller.
Yes.
But in actual real life, the Pro is actually the better one to choose.
I prefer it.
And that's why it's in our list over the Max.
I mean, objectively, if you want to look at specs alone, the Max is the better controller. But for me, the reason why I prefer this one is the Max. Again, this is a more expensive controller. The whole thing is rubber.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to go sticky and horrible.
Yeah,
you know, it's going to go horrible.
Yeah, it will definitely go sticky.
It will go sticky and horrible. You're paying for the best one, and that's going to happen. The next thing is there are so many features in it that is confusing. And I'm thinking of trying to put my head in a someone like average Joe, little Billy.
Oh, not little Billy again.
Little Billy's got the controller.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's done. He's hit turbo mode, and now he thinks the controller's broke. That's what used to happen to me when I was a kid. I was like, what's turbo do? And you press it and then the whole controller breaks and you're like, what's happened? So the Max has too many features, which is great if you want them. But this one just tones it down a bit. It takes everything which is good about the Max and just brings it down a notch.
Yep.
It's cheaper, obviously. So that, again, in my opinion, is the better ploy. You're not getting some of those extra features, but you're getting the better controller. And the main thing is, this is solid plastic. I haven't even shown people what it looks like.
Well, before you open it, it comes in a travel case, which I just, as we said with the other ones, I do love it. This one actually does have a cutout for the USB port as well.
It does.
Amazing, so you can charge it in its case.
And in the case, you've got the dongle.
It's simple stuff like that makes me fall in love with things.
Yep. And 2 back paddles just there, which is a winning move.
Yeah.
So, lastly, just to round up the comparison, this one is solid plastic, really durable plastic.
It's not going to degrade.
It's not going to degrade and go rubber and like sticky and horrible. Yeah. So this is just a winning move. And the other thing is the sticks are smoother.
Yes. Well, that was the big standout thing when we were reviewing them. Was the sticks are better in the Pro than they are on the Max.
Yes. So let's put that out of the way.
Or do the back paddles first while you're there. So you've got the thing I do love about this as well is being someone who doesn't like back paddles or buttons. You have the option of just not having any.
Yes.
But if you are into back paddles, you can have them.
Yes.
Because they're literally hot swappable. You literally you can plug them in yourself.
You can plug them in yourself. And
that's cool.
The really good thing about this is there's 4.
Yeah.
And you could choose which you use. It's none of this other stuff where there's an actual button. This is the better way.
Yes.
Because, you can just take them out and remove them entirely. Or you can choose the style. If you want the little like flippy paddles, you can get them. I prefer these little nubs.
Because you're definitely not going to accidentally use that.
No.
That's the nice thing about it.
But these are perfect because I rest my fingers over them and then just click them downward. But you can change them all out. They're a little bit fiddly to get in, I must be honest. You probably saw me faffing around trying to get them in.
Yeah.
You've got to like hook them in and then pull them down. And even then, you might not get them in properly. There we go. So they're a little bit like fiddly, but once they're in, they're fine, and most people probably just leave them in. The negative with this case, so you must take them out to put them in.
Yes,
so that's kind of annoying, But other than that, this is a solid controller. It's a real solid controller.
Ergonomically, it's beautiful in hand.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Let me tell you some of the specs so we can catch up on it. It does have maglev HD rumble.
Yes. Yeah, there's
3 rumble maglev modes.
Yeah, so GuliKit tout this as their maglev motors. The downside here is they're too big.
Huge.
They're massively motors.
Intense.
They're too intense. The HD rumble is like got too much interference.
Yeah. And
it doesn't replicate sound and stuff accurately because they're just brute forcing the way through it.
Yeah.
I personally found this better to turn it off. So you've got standard HD rumble as an option, which you can configure. You've got maglev HD rumble, and then you just got normal, swoopy motor rumble. I preferred that.
Yeah. Just
turning all the HD stuff off and lowering it down to a low amount, and then it's nice.
Yeah.
But the rumble's fine. You might like the crazy HD rumble. It was too much for me.
Yeah. You got Hall effect analog triggers and joysticks as well.
Yes.
Switch layout. PC layout costs extra.
Yeah. So on the Max, they give you the face button layout and 6 different paddles for the back. On this one, you have to buy that as an added
separator.
So this comes with 2 back paddles, and that's it, and a Nintendo layout. If you want to swap that to a PC layout and have extra options on the back, you have to buy it as an upgrade kit.
You got 1000 hertz polling rate or 125 hertz via Bluetooth, obviously. The 4 back paddle options, as you said, only 2 in the box with the Pro. Turbo, macro, and button swap. Is it?
Yeah.
Proper button swap, 4 button swapping, true button swapping. Actual 8-way and 4-way D-pad options, so switchable.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that.
Yes, me too. So for platformers,
so you can have the diagonal if you want or not.
Yeah, you can literally just with a combination button press, you can turn it off from an 8-way, so all the diagonals turn off. So it's literally a 4-way. So if you are playing like Contra or something, like, you know your inputs are actually going to like input properly.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
Obviously, the case is included, like we say, and it is a multi-platform controller.
Yes.
Again, it's another a bit like the Game Seer Nova we're looking at. It's very kind of ordinary colorways, very unassuming.
Yep.
So if you're not one that's into like the garish designs and stuff, aesthetically it's a good choice.
Yes.
It feels really premium in the hand, and I think the real standout feature from my memory of it is the sticks.
The sticks
how nice they are.
Insanely smooth. They've got the anti-friction RGB rings around them with the metal stems, with Hall effect sticks, as we said, but they are so utterly smooth. You know, it's difficult because I wanted to put this as number 1.
Yeah.
I really wanted to put it as number 1. But I didn't.
I think the last time we did a roundup list of Pro controllers, it was number 1.
It was number 1, yes.
And it had just come out. It was a big surprise.
Yes, it was, yeah. And honestly, this I want to say this is joint first with the next one. You know, it's so close. I would say the next one just outweighs it a bit, but this is so close. It is so close. Like, yeah. Anyway,
I would say it's very close, and I would say aesthetically, it's nicer than the next one.
Yes,
and it looks more premium.
And I would say it feels more premium in the hand as well. The next one feels.
Do you regret
cheaper.
your choices now in the way you've ordered this list?
Kind of, but the next one, there's some standouts about it which I really love.
Well, let's get on to the next one then, shall we?
Yes.
This is number 1, the number 1 in our top 5 controllers this year, and Andy has broken it straight away. You eagle-eyed viewers will have spotted it has its own charging dock. It is the Game Seer Cyclone 2.
Yes.
Wow. Game Seer twice in the list. They really are smashing it out this year.
They're really good. I mean, every controller that we've looked at by them has been really good.
Do you know what really surprises me with them as well? Is the phone controllers.
Yes.
They're all really good as well.
Really good as well. Like that.
Shocking.
That's shocking. Yeah. Like because I thought, oh, here we go.
Phone controller
is going to be rubbish.
Yeah.
And nope, really good.
Yeah.
Like everything we've seen so far from this company has been surprising.
Yeah.
Every time I expect it to be rubbish. I don't know why. I'm sorry, Game Sir. I just expect
always amazing
to be rubbish, and then I get it out and I use it and I go, that's so good.
Yeah.
And usually they're really
Tell me
competitive
about this
price
dock.
points.
It's a charging dock.
Dock is
obviously.
brilliant. So the charging dock, yes, it is a charging dock. It's actually metal.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's metal. This bit's plastic.
Yeah.
But the base of it and everything is metal. It's got shoes. So it gives you controller shoes.
Oh, a little comfy space for the controller horns.
Yeah. So it's shoes on. We've got charging like pins on the back and on here. So it just, you literally sit it down and you're done. Obviously you connect it via USB-C on the back there.
Yeah.
You can put the dongle that it comes with there.
And there's 2.4 gig dongle.
2.4 gig dongle. And this is the big thing for me because there's so many charging dock controllers out there and they miss a trick.
Yeah.
It's like, it comes with a dongle. Cool. But where's the dongle extension?
Yeah.
Because if you've got this routed on your PC,
yes,
right, that's going to be connected to the back of your PC. You want to then plug your dongle into it.
Yeah,
so
of course.
You've got an extension. And if you leave, you can just pull it out the front and go. Some controllers don't do that. They like miss it as an afterthought. But this,
so stupid.
Yeah, this wins. Now, it actually comes as 2 prices. You can save $5 by not buying the charging stand.
$5?
Right? Yes. So I would pay the $5, get the stand, which also doubles up as the extension for the dongle.
It adds so much to this as an offering. And for $5, £5, whatever it is in the UK.
Saves you having to USB-C charge it. You literally sit it down and
it's got somewhere for the controller to go.
Yeah.
It's a problem I have. We have so many controllers, both from the channel and personally, is kind of dotted around over. And when they're just kind of like
laying down,
oh, it does my head in.
Yep.
Nowhere for them to go.
Yep.
having somewhere for them to sit is nice.
Yes, it's really good.
I know it's a stupid thing to
No,
like.
no, it is. And when I was testing this, I just had this sat on my desk. And even after I tested it, it was still sat on my desk like this because I was like, so easy to just pick up and play it.
It looks
just
cool.
and it turns itself on when you pick it up.
Oh, wow.
You don't have to turn the controller on. So this is the little things about this controller is what makes this number one.
And it's obviously a multi-platform controller.
Yes.
Hence we were just talking about it being on PC.
Yeah.
Let me talk about some of the awesome specs about it because it's a standout as well, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is.
TMR joysticks.
Oh, yes.
With raw mode as an option.
Oh, yeah.
As we just talked about what raw mode is.
Yes,
I
we
felt
did.
like I learned something today as well.
Good.
You know?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
really
glad
nice.
you did, yeah.
Tactile cushioned micro switched face buttons. Go on,
So
put
good.
it into the microphone. Let's
That's
just,
so
just
good.
give us a little,
Ooh. Punch
click.
the microphone.
Yeah, that's it. That's the
Oh,
click we
yeah.
wanted. That's nice. Micro switches and Hall effect analog triggers. Now this is so cool.
Yes. So first of all, you can see the styling. The front is actually transparent,
Yes.
and then it goes into solid.
Yeah.
But the back is all transparent.
Yeah.
But the triggers are fully
They're
transparent.
crystal, aren't they?
Yeah, they're crystal transparent. But there's a switch on the side. So they are Hall effect analog triggers.
Yeah.
Right. You can also software mod them into a hair trigger.
Yeah.
Right. Or if you get your nail in and do this little switch, micro switch,
And it turns
mechanical
into mechanical hair trigger.
yeah, which is
So
amazing
good.
for FPS games.
Yeah.
And there is no travel on there. It's just click. Like it is just straight into a click. There's no pre-travel. It's just click. Like, you know, it's so good.
In our channel membership Discord, shout out to you lovely people.
Indeed.
There was someone that was telling me about sharing my struggles with Call of Duty.
Yes.
And wanting controllers that will react faster, basically, because I'm not being able to either aim down scope or shoot quick enough.
Yeah.
Because especially when you're using analog triggers, there is that pre-travel time for the
Absolutely.
actuation.
Yeah.
And their solution was, I'll just rebind the buttons to be your bumpers,
Yes.
L and R.
Yeah, that is a very
I was
good
like,
point.
oh, that's actually a good idea. But it's not an elegant idea.
No,
and it's
and
not very intuitive, is
I was
it?
going to say, you've already learned over
Exactly.
years to press the triggers.
So this
Yes.
absolutely is that kind of permanent solution to that.
It's a
in a
winning
beautiful
move
way.
because you've got three like trigger types.
Yeah.
You've got standard analog for your racing games, your action games, whatever. You've got a soft mod hair trigger, which is still analog, but basically as soon as you kind of touch it,
Yeah, like no pre-travel dead zone.
yeah. So it just actuates it, but you've still got a physical movement problem there, which is going to cause you, you know, it's not going to be as quick as this, where you switch it, you can't push past that point. So you are going to
Just
be able
instant.
to,
clicking.
instant, and return is quicker. So it's a winning move.
It's really cool. There's a 3.5mm audio jack on as well
Boom on the bottom.
for your headphone or headset as well.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
Actually, it's not that common a feature.
No. And GameSir seem to do it quite well on their controllers. They do add it in.
2 back paddles.
Yep,
You've
big
got,
ones as well. And
they
again,
are big
nice,
as well.
consistent.
Yeah.
Like
so
between
not
themselves.
cheap, like mushy.
No, not mushy at all. No.
Gyro is built in.
Yep.
There's a 1,000 hertz polling rate, I guess, if you're
Via
using
the dongle.
via
Yep,
the dongle.
absolutely. All wired.
Crazy in-depth but intuitive software. I love that note, Andy. That's great.
Yes. Yeah. I wrote that in there.
What's
for
the in-depth software?
The software is ridiculous. The half of the review for this video, like for this controller, was just going through the software.
Wow.
And not in a bad way. It's intuitive.
Yeah.
But you can change everything. Like, it's ridiculous. It's on the like PC app or whatever. You download Games Connect or whatever they call it, you know, and it is just ridiculous.
What's the price point on this?
I can't remember.
No, that's fair. I was just wondering how it compares to some of the more kind of elite pro controllers out there.
The
kind of
big ones.
The Scuff and the Xbox Elite and the DualSense, those kind of
because this isn't Xbox licensed, which is why it's, you know, not part of that. This is a multi-plat, meaning not for consoles.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it's fair to compare those.
That's fair, okay.
But in terms of specs, this outweighs them.
Yeah.
TMR joysticks, that's the next level up from Hall Effect.
Yes, it is.
You know, so they use less power
Yeah.
than Hall Effect or, you know, potentiometer sticks, right? So less power, less chance of drifting. They're like massively less chance, but they're way more accurate. They have a much higher polling rate. There's more like input zones, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So they're just better all round, and these are really good. And they have that outer dead zone, or you can swap it into raw mode. You know, no dead zone, raw mode, and have those true diagonals as well. So yeah, I mean, on specs, this is better, way better than an Xbox Elite or a SCUF controller. I mean, SCUF, they don't even tell you what modules they use.
They don't tell you what modules
I went
they
through
use.
every bit of
same.
information I could find about them. They don't even tell you what sticks they use, and they use potentiometer sticks.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not Hall effect.
And if you go into their back end of Q&As, it says, how long will my joysticks last? It will say 3
6
months,
months? 3
3
months.
months or more. A £150 controller or £200 controller every 3 months. Get yourselves one of these.
Wow. Have you thought about working for games here? It's good.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Final part is it does have turbo macro and button swap.
Yeah, it's a win.
It's literally got everything.
Yeah, and in that software, you can tailor every dead zone, every curve, anything you want. It is fantastic.
Now, I know you made the order of this list.
Yes, I did.
You have reviewed all of these and then instantly forgotten the specs about them.
I did, yes. That's why I wrote them down for you.
If I was to push you then to choose your best budget and your favourite overall. Tell me your best budget first.
Best budget? Well, out of the budget, it would be between the Nova, the GameStar Nova, and that 8-bit Do.
Yeah.
Difficult choice, really, because the Nova's got a Nintendo layout.
Yeah.
The other one, the 8-bit Do has a PC layout. I'd probably lean towards the 8-bit Do.
I would as well for budget because you get the wired version. It's $25.
I know, yeah, it's mad.
It's impossible to beat that.
It is mad. It really is. So I think that's a really good price point, and 8-bit Do a really solid company.
Solid, absolutely.
So I would, choose that personally.
And if you were to choose your best overall,
I still think I'd go with the Cyclone too.
You would.
I think I would.
You're not going to go back to the GuliKit.
I really like the GuliKit, and as we were showing it,
you fell back in love with it. Didn't you?
I fell back in love with it. It was like, there's so much that I love about this.
Yeah.
And when I was saying, well, I want to put it up in the top spot as well, but then when you look at all the nuanced stuff about the GameStar Cyclone 2, that's the thing that just puts it that bit ahead. Yes, the build quality feels a bit better on the GuliKit. Yes, the sticks feel a little bit smoother, but I feel like the GameStar Cyclone 2 just has the edge with those extra features. Wake on sleep. Like, this can be sat on your side, pick it up, it's on, it's connected.
The dock,
the dongle that goes into the dock, the hair trigger modes, the buttons, like, oh man, like, they're so good because they're like cushioned mechanical. Yeah. So they're not like horrible. Either of these would be a choice, but I think I'd lean to this. I'm going to take this one home with me again. So sorry.
I like it. No, it's fine. I totally understand. So there you have it. Our top 5 controllers of 2024.
Woo-hoo!
Yes. And, well, the Cyclone 2 has it.
It does, yes. This year. We'll see next year what happens.
I'm just going to take this one and just going to have a look at it over here.
Oh, yeah. Damn you. GameStar, can you send us another one?
Let us know down in the comments below if you agreed with us, if you disagreed with us, if there's controllers we've reviewed that should have been in this list or we haven't covered yet that you want us to see us cover. Just join in the conversation down in the comments down below. And whilst you're down there digging around, like the video, subscribe to the channel, maybe do something else.
Become a member! Yeah, we can see these videos early sometimes. But you get to chat to us over on our private Discord and join us with our lovely members.
Yes. And before you do go anywhere, consider watching another video from us. Smash it between our faces.
And check out the podcast channel and the news channel as well.
Because it's all the channels.
Oh, yes.
We're doing everything. So until next time,
bye.